Hari Om, everybody. We started with chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is an elaboration of the verse Karamanye Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Phala Heturbhu Mate Sangotsva Akarmani, which appeared in chapter 2. That was the seed. This is the sprout. So one thing to remember is that this chapter deals with the means and not the goal. So the goal is Naishkarmya Siddhi, as we'll see today. The goal is Brahman, the supreme reality, but then you cannot achieve the goal without a means. And so the means also are equally important. It is once you set a goal, the means also become equally important if you're serious about reaching that goal. So the goal of Bhagavad Gita is moksha or mukti. And in this chapter, it will be called as Naishkarmya Siddhi. We will see how. So the means are important. And because these are the means and not the goal, the means are in the transactional world. That is to be remembered. And therefore, they become very important for all of us because we are living in the transactional world. So while living in the transactional world, in this world, and acting whatever that we are supposed to do, while doing that, that itself, how to convert it into the means is what is going to be told in this chapter. So it's a very important chapter. Like I said, especially for the people who have got younger children or young people who have got goals, etc., how to act in this world here and now so that that goal of supreme reality can be reached. And the chapter began with a question by Arjun. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjun we have seen, Arjanat Arjun or Rujutvat Arjun means a straightforward person. It means straight like an arrow actually, but straight like an arrow means not like he's, physically, but mentally very, very straightforward. So as such, the question is being asked out of a genuine confusion. It is not an objection. You can object to something that somebody is saying, or you can be confused. You may not understand it clearly. And here the question is being asked out of a confusion. And what is the confusion? The confusion is that he has understood, Arjun has understood that there are two paths. Bhagavan has talked about two paths, the path of karma and the path of jnana or knowledge. Bhagavan also has indicated, and we also have to understand that, and Arjun also has understood that these two paths cannot be done simultaneously by the same person at the same time. See, I was thinking about this, and now in our material world, in our transactional world, there are certain things that two things can be done simultaneously. So if I want to watch TV and eat at the same time, that's fine. I can do it. I can eat as well as watch TV. But if I want to watch TV and I want to sleep, that I cannot do. That will have to be in sequence. Either I take a nap first, then I watch TV, or I watch my TV and then fall asleep, then switch the TV off. So certain things can be done simultaneously, but certain things have to be done sequentially. Now this karma and jnana, he has understood it cannot be done simultaneously. That he has understood. Okay, fine. He has also understood that jnana, the path of knowledge, is the direct and the fastest path to moksha. That he has understood. Karma is the indirect path. That also he has understood. I gave you the example. If I have to go to Calgary or Toronto, there is a flight. I can go by air or I can go by bus. What is the qualification that I need there? Do I have the money to buy an air ticket? Because it is expensive. It's more expensive than the bus. Do I have the money? If I have the money, then I'm qualified to go by air. Then most certainly I must go by air. Because, it's very quick, it's fast, it's direct. I'll be there in an hour, etc., etc. If I don't have the money, then what do? Then I have to go by bus. Now, in this case, there are two paths. They cannot be done simultaneously. Then what is the qualification? Qualification is not money. in spiritual evolution, money is never a qualification. The qualification is how well purified the mind is. That is what the qualification is. Now, that part, Arjun has not understood. That is where the confusion is. There are two paths I understand. I understand they cannot be done simultaneously. I understand that the path of knowledge is the direct path. Why can't I do knowledge only? Why I should do karma? That is where the confusion is. Okay, so that's why he's asking. He's using the word Janardana. I told you, Jana is Maya. So Ardana, destroyer of Maya. So he's saying Maya that is what is causing confusion. Maya is the one that is causing delusion. So you are the destroyer of Maya, but for me, you are as though you have laid out this net of Maya jal in which I'm caught, because I don't understand. I'm a very intelligent person. Why shouldn't I take the direct path? That's what the question. Why shouldn't I? You yourself said it is direct, it is quick, it is the only way actually, because karma directly cannot give you. Why I shouldn't take that? And he's also used the word Keshava, the name, one who emits light. So you can shed light on this. And the karma that you're telling me is ghora, is terrible. You're asking me to kill my own people. If you would have said, oh, Arjun, do some puja, do some meditation, make some garland for God, that Arjun would have said, oh yeah, correct. I should do all that for moksha. But how I can kill and then get moksha? Ask me to kill and then you promise me that I will get moksha? He's confused. Okay. And then when sometimes we feel, oh, maybe the person whom we are asking may not have understood. So he has repeated his question in the next one. And then he says, you confuse me. And also, he's an army man. This is Gurudev's interpretation. He's an army man. He says, give me one definitive answer. This type of thing is confusing me. That's what he has just. Therefore, tell me that one way, one is in quotations, for certain by which I may attain the highest. Just tell me one way. Don't tell me these two ways. Now, Bhagwan, being extremely diplomatic, as you know, Bhagavan will never give him one answer. That is Bhagwan's style. And the reason that Bhagwan does it is, Bhagwan wants him to make the decision. That's why I have also always said, self-discipline has to be self-imposed. If I tell you, nobody's going to follow. Somebody tells me, I may know. But if I myself decide that this is what I want to get up at time, this is what I want to do, if I myself decide, then I'm not being honest to myself if I don't do it. And chances are that some rules that I have laid for myself, chances are that I will follow them more. And then it is my decision. So this is what, even in the last chapter, when we hope we will reach 18th chapter, there he says, I will do as you say, Arjun says, Karishye vachanam tava. Your vachanam, your statements I will do. Bhagavan says, no. Not my vachan, not my statement. You must do it if it sits right with you. Then only do it. And if you still have not understood it, I will go through the whole Gita once again for you. So decision always has to be ours. And Bhagwan will only lay out everything. He'll lay out all it's like, me ask, how do I get to, okay, there is a plane, there is a bus, there is a car, there is a cycle, you can walk, there is a road. You pick, you decide. What are you qualified for? That way now Bhagwan starts. We have just seen the meaning of this one last time. Lokesmin vividha nishtha pura prokta mayanagha. O Anagha, Bhagavan first, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. I've explained Bhagavan very much in detail, the meaning of it. So very simply put, Bhagavan, whose words were true at that time, they're true today, and they will remain true for all future generations to come. Okay, so in 3 periods of time, these words will not change. The words will not change, and the meaning also will not change, and they will be applicable also. It's not like, oh, maybe 10 years from now, this, we read other things, history or medicine. 1 year they say, then next year they say, this is now the new thing. So that last year, whatever we said, is gone. We say that, right? Now the latest is that's how my doctor, latest of this year is this. So whatever you know, this is not like that. There will not be a latest version of Bhagavad Gita. It will be the same version of Bhagavad Gita for throughout our life, and whatever births are coming. So that is the load of the word Bhagavan Vacha. That's why it's not Krishna Vacha, Govinda Vacha. There are so many names of Lord Krishna, but it is not the name, it is Bhagavan. And Anagha. Anagha, we have seen this word also, many times it will come. Anagha is the name of one of the names of Arjun. Agha means papa, demerit, sin. Anagha means sinless. There is one word, aghama. See, in results that we get, there are always two types of results. We have seen that. Karma, there is good karma, bad karma. So the result of good karma is punya, the result of bad karma is papa. Punya will give sukha, joy. Papa will give sorrow, dukkha. Okay, this is the common. Now what happens is, when I get the result of a good karma, okay, so I win a lottery, say, then that good result of good karma, I can give it to anybody. I can give the lottery ticket to my children. I can take the money, I can donate it to the mission. I can give it to charity. I can do anything with it. Nobody is going to stop me. Okay. So the result of a good karma can be given. If you don't want it, you can. I may not cash the check, the lottery ticket. I can do that. I can just tear it up. I don't want to cash this. I don't want. I can refuse also to take that. But when it comes to the result of a bad karma, that result can never be given to anybody else. So if I have done something wrong, and if I have to go to jail for it, I cannot tell, last month I gave you the lottery ticket, and I cannot say that to my son. Now, please, now 1 month in jail, now you go instead of me. So that result, which has to be experienced by myself, which cannot be given to somebody else, is called aghama. That's what it is, aghama. Aghama is a result which you have to experience yourself. And anagha means one who has not done any aghama. So by calling him anagha, Bhagavan is telling him, Arjun, you have not done any action, the result of which you alone must bear. Means you have not done any bad, very simply put, you have not done any bad action. How does Bhagavan know that? Because in chapter 2, he said, there have been many previous births of yours and many previous births of mine. Bhagavan knows, please understand, that's the load of the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan knows the past, present, and future of all jivas. So by calling him Anagha here, Bhagavan is saying, you have not done anything. You are sinless. You are pure-minded. So he says that Pura old, ancient, from ancient times, there have been two paths. Jnana Yogena Sankhyana. For the Sankhyas, Sankhya coming from the word Sankhya, which means numeral, number, which means those who are inclined to think logically, inclined to think, they're intellectuals. They will always ask, how come this is there? How come this is there? Why this is this? Why this is this? For those who are capable of even thinking of those kind of things, for them this path of knowledge is there. And karma yogena yogina. So for the here yogi means one who has a to-do list, simply put. One who is like, what should I do next? What should I do next? What should I do? We are like that. We are like, we have a whole set of things waiting for us. For such people, karma yoga is prescribed. And this why two paths? Why? That's one thing about Hinduism. There are other religions which will only say one path. And our scriptures recognize that if there is only one path, not all people may be qualified for that. Suppose in our ordinary example, if the only path was to go by air to Calgary, then there'll be so many people who will not be able to go. So you have to provide these paths for the people so that whatever the person is qualified to do, he does. That's why we have even bhakti yoga, which is, we are not talking about that here. But there are some people who are very hard to read. They love singing the bhajans of the Lord and praying and this. Okay, that's fine too. Our scriptures say follow bhakti, no problem. Here we are only talking about karma and jnana. Bhakti will come later on in Bhagavad Gita. So here he says that those whose minds are purified to a great extent, or at least to a certain extent, for them jnana yoga is prescribed. And for those whose minds are not as purified, karma yoga is prescribed. Now, indirectly, because Bhagwan has asked Arjun to do karma, he is indicating your mind is not as purified. That Arjun has, not, he has not tuned into, which is good. It's good he didn't tune in, because of that Bhagwan continued. Now we are not nowhere near, so it's better for us. Okay, so by telling him this here itself, Bhagwan is telling him that your mind is not yet ready for jnana marga. That's why you have to do karma. And right now the karma is standing in front of you. Right now the current karma is war, and that's why you have to fight your war. It is not, doing anything else. It is war. In karmas, there are two types of karmas. This is all comes in the karma kanda portion also. Vedic injunctions are there. So there are rituals, prayers, etc., as well as there are the work as per varna and ashrama. So we have your brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. We have that ashramas, and then we have the varnas, right? So we have Brahmin, we have Kshatriya, we have Vaishya and Shudra. So as per varna and ashrama, okay, means what? Suppose if there is a brahmana, and it's a brahmachari, then he will have a set of karmas to do. Means he will be studying scriptures. But if it's a kshatriya and it is a brahmachari, then he will be studying warfare. You see, that is how it goes. That's why we say as per varna and ashrama both. Okay, this is how the karmas are divided. We'll talk about it. So the Vedic injunctions are, and there are two goals in life also. We always have two goals. There is abhyudaya and moksha. Abhyudaya means material prosperity. So there are certain things done for material prosperity, and certain things, this is falling under karma kanda. This is okay. This is not Vedanta. This is Vedanta will come. How I convert all these karmas to become qualified for Vedanta will come. But this is karma kanda. So karma kanda tells us there are certain karma kandans. I've always told you, they think that karma will lead to moksha, which is not correct. But they think that this is their thinking. So they say these Vedic rituals that are there, this puja and these, elaborate pujas, that will take you to moksha. And then when you act as per your varna and ashrama, that will give you material prosperity. So the karma kandans say, you will, by karma, through karma, there's no jnana is not there. Through karma, you can get material prosperity. Through karma, you can get spiritual prosperity, which is moksha. So you stay in karma kanda and do karma kanda. Do karma. And Bhagwan Shankaracharya, and here this is what Bhagwan will say, yeah, you do karma. I'm not saying don't do karma. You must do karma. But with what attitude is what matters. So we go on to the next one, which is an important verse. Okay. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute na cha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Very important verse this is. Not by non-performance of action does man reach actionlessness, nor by mere renunciation does he attain perfection. The key word in this verse is naishkarmyam, okay, which is na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam. That naishkarmya is the key word. Sri Shreshwaracharya, who is the leading disciple of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, has written a whole book which is titled Naishkarmya Siddhi. So you can imagine how important this word is. So we will understand this word first, and then we will also see how it means. So Naishkarmya, it's a negative. No, that means no. Karma, action. So no karma means what? Means actionlessness. Naishkarmya means actionlessness. Now we have to understand what actionlessness is. Okay. So what Bhagwan is saying here, that by anarambha, arambha is beginning. Anarambha is no beginning, nothing. So by not beginning any action, means by not doing any action, that doesn't mean you have reached actionlessness. Okay. And this is specific to Arjun, because what was Arjun trying to do was his war. He was actually physically running away from wanting to run away from the war. Okay. So that's why this Bhagwan is telling him that you think that by running away from the war, you're running away literally from what your duty is, you will attain actionlessness. But no, that is not actionlessness. Now, the way we are understanding actionlessness is not doing any action. So what is wrong? Arjun has given up the action of fighting the war and is going, so actionlessness he has achieved. So actionlessness, obviously, it is obvious we have to understand that actionlessness does not mean a physical giving up of action. Number one point. Okay. So now let's see what actionlessness means. In action, in Sanskrit language actually, because it's a very refined language. In English, there is only one word, action. In Sanskrit, for action, there are two words. One word is kriya and one word is karma. There is kriya and there is karma. So what is kriya? Okay. We have to understand what kriya is. And also please understand that after this, there is no mention, or I will not be, anything that is said in this chapter or further in the Gita doesn't apply to kriya. But nevertheless, kriya means action. So kriya is, in my sleep, I talk. In my sleep, I may walk. I may eat. Means get up, open the fridge, eat, but I've done it. Or I may kick somebody. Okay. So in that case, because I have done it in my sleep, there is absolutely no doership. There is no this thing that, oh, I may give this whole lecture in my sleep, but I don't have the intention. There is no intention. There is no purpose in Kriya. So that is an action. If I talk, I have acted. If I kick somebody, I have acted. That is an action, but it is purposeless, it is intentionless, and it is without doership. In the waking state, we also do kriya. And the most common examples that I can think of is if I'm talking on the phone and playing with my hair. Do people do that? Most, they'll do this, and they're talking on the phone. So actually, the speech on the phone is karma. But all these other things that are going on, they fall under kriya. There's no intention, there is no purpose. Or people talk on the phone, and if there is a book in front of them, they'll go on, not coloring, but just filling the O's and the zeros. Have you done that? I have done it. But that time I never knew all this. Then later on when I heard all this, I'm like, oh, geez, oh yeah, this happened. All that I've done. That is falling under kriya. Now, kriya, do you feel proud of how many zeros you colored? Or do you keep track? Yesterday I talked for 5 minutes, I did 10. Today I will talk for 4 minutes, but I will do 20. Do we do that? We just do it and we forget. Another example, people stand on the lawn and they keep plucking the grass, and then there is nothing. There is no doership. So the point is that Kriya doesn't create any result. Okay, that is the point. So therefore, when we talk about karma, so the other part of this is karma. Karma is where there is intention, where there is purpose, where there is doership. That I am doing this action, I am going, and this is a result that I would like to come. Or in those who are not in this path, this is what I'm doing, and this is the result that I want, and then I am going to enjoy that result. So the doership and enjoyership, strong doership, strong enjoyership is there. If there is doership, if I think that I am doing it, enjoyership follows. Nobody can say I'm doing it, but I don't want to enjoy the result. People are doing actions for results, for certain desired results, and the thing in mind is that I will enjoy that result because I have done this action. I will enjoy. That falls under karma, and that karma itself is inert. It will never bind us. Whether it is a good karma that I'm doing or a bad karma that I'm doing, it has no capacity to bind me. Okay, therefore Kriya doesn't bind. I told you, Kriya doesn't bind, because what is binding us and what is bondage? What is it binding us to? To the cycle of birth and death, to this samsara, is the doership and the enjoyership. That is what is binding us. So whether karma is good, whether karma is, the result will come. Good karma will give good result, bad karma will give bad result. And that rule remains. Good karma you can share, you can give. The result of a good karma, the result of a bad karma, you have to experience yourself. But what is actually binding is not the karma, the action. The action by itself is inert. What is inert cannot bind me. It cannot bind me. But what is actually binding me is the doership that I have. Now, if I desire that I don't want to get bound, there's a big if there. Then I have to convert karma into the next step, karma yoga. Yoga coming from the word yuj, to join. So I want to do this karma, but at the same time, I want this karma to join me to the higher. If I have that in mind, okay, and how do I join to the higher? Is by not getting bound. And how do I not get bound? What is binding me is doership and enjoyership. That means I must reduce my doership and my enjoyership in that karma, by which it will be known as karma yoga and not just karma. So a person who does only karma is a karmi. And the one who is doing karma yoga is a karma yogi, not a karmi. There is a difference. So at our stage, we have to be in the position of a karma yogi, not a karmin. And Kriya is nowhere in the picture now. That's it. Forget about Kriya now. Okay. So karma binding us, karma yoga is a path to not bind. And the next step is karma sannyasa. Karma sannyasa, samyak nyasa, a throwing away, a renunciation. What am I renouncing? I am renouncing the doership and enjoyership. I'm not renouncing the physical karma. Physical karma can never be renounced, can never be given up. Bhagavan himself will explain in the next verse, so I'm not going to go into that. So karma sannyasa, which will be elaborately dealt with in chapter 5, karma sannyas is this naishkarmya that he has used this naishkarmya siddhi that I told you, the textbook, the treatise. Siddhi is achievement. So there, the literal translation is achievement of actionlessness. If there is a whole book on that, do you think that just simply physically giving up action, that whole book Sureshwaracharya would have written? Only one line, actionlessness, just don't do your action. Sit lazy and don't do any action. That's it. You have achieved. So actionlessness is not that simple. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, Bhagavan would have agreed. He said, Arjun, you want to run away? Let's both run away. Chalo. I've got the chariot ready anyways. Instead of taking it in there, we'll just take it outside on the battlefield and, hey, we are on our way. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. We may think it is simple, but it is. That's why I've always told you, people think karma is easy, jnana. It's not. It's not. So what needs to be renounced is that doership and enjoyership. So the difference between a karmi and a karma yogi. Let's see, what is the difference? A karmi has desires. A karma yogi, does he have desires? Yes. The common word is karma there. Huh? So actions are happening through a karmi, actions are happening through a karma yogi, and actions are also happening through a karma sannyasi. Because one who has achieved karma sannyas is a karma sannyasi. So all three are doing actions. Because what did we say? Physically, you cannot renounce action. So that means all three. That's why karma is there. Karma, karma yoga, karma sannyasa. Karma is there. Now, the karmi, he has desires. He has got doership. He has got the idea that I definitely want this particular result. And if I don't get, then I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to try even more harder to, to get that same result. That is the attitude, mental attitude of a karmi or a karmin. Both are same, karmin or karmi. The karma yogi recognizes I have desires. Yes, I do want to build a house. I want a job. I want a promotion. I do. But I recognize that there is an ultimate goal which I also want. See, the karmi doesn't know about the ultimate goal. He doesn't care. He said, right now, I want money, I want promotion, I want this. But the karma yogi has got this thing in mind. So he says, now what I should do? I have desires also. This is why scriptures recognize that there are desires in people. So the scripture, Bhagavad Gita, the scriptures tell us, okay, you have desire now, you act. No problem. We have no problem. But in that acting, that ego, because this is one definition of ego, is the doership and enjoyership. That is what ego is. That ego, you surrender. You have the ego. You have, because you're just now freshly coming into this path of karma yoga. You have the ego. You surrender it. Surrender it to whom? To a higher altar. What is a higher altar? The highest altar is God. Okay. But he may not suddenly, you suddenly can't surrender things to God. Okay. You have a guru. Surrender to guru. Okay, no. Country. Okay, surrender to country. Do things for your country. Okay, no. Family. Something other than you. Elderly parents, small children, babies. Surrender your ego. Say that I'm doing it for the, not like, I want to get there, I want to enjoy. Not like I. So that ego is there in a karma yogi. Please understand. But it is now surrendered at the feet of the guru, at the feet of God, country, family, whoever. Even ego can be surrendered to the company that you're working for. How you surrender that? By if suddenly you are asked to work late someday or something, what am I going to get? Why I should work after 6? You should not have that sort of an attitude. Am I going to get a promotion just because why should I do? My boss asked me to do, why should I do? It shouldn't be like that. Someday the boss might ask you to stay late. Someday he might ask you to work on the weekend. Someday, whatever, every single time you shouldn't have this sort of thought. If you're having those type of thoughts, you're a karmi. You're falling under karmi. That's why this distinction is very important to understand. For doctors, patient become in higher altar. That you're doing things for your patient. Teachers, you're doing things for your students. They become a higher altar, something other than you. So surrender that ego. And when you surrender that ego, what happens is it reduces. So the karmi is working only for result which I will be happy and I will enjoy. The karma yogi is now working, doing the same amount of effort, same thing he's putting in, but the result is there. But the main result, the more importance is on purification of my mind, reduction of ego. So there is a shift. In karma, there are always two results. There is internal result and there is external result. So external result, you can see, you got a promotion, you stood first in class, you whatever, external. But the internal result is a purification of the mind. What is purification? Peace of mind. How do I know that my mind is at peace? When a result comes, how upset am I with that result? Or how exhilarated am I with that result? Am I jumping up and down, 10,000 people I'm calling, yay, I got this, I got this, I got this? Or that's why Sukha Dukkhe Samikritva, Bhagavan has given that instruction in chapter 2. Okay, because Sukha Dukkha is a result of karma. Where is Sukha Dukkha coming from? Where is it coming from? It's coming from karma. So karma is original. So that's why the karma yogi is now trying to purify his mind. That is more on his mind, the purification, than there is more importance on the internal result than the external result. The karmin does not even know of the internal result. He is only used to, I'm going to be upset if I don't get this. I'm going to be very, very happy if I get this. Now, if I get this, I'm going to even work harder to get even more, greed. If I don't get it, anger, I'm going to be angry and I'm going to even work even more harder with a vengeance to get it. So he's getting caught in this cycle, literally. Whereas the karma yogi, whether he gets it or he doesn't get it, his mind is at peace and he's happy about that. He says, oh, okay, fine, I am the same. And then when your ego is surrendered, and this is not happening, it's somewhat, you know, like, I was thinking, it's somewhat like going to the gym. So when you first go to the gym, they start you off with like 3-pound weights. They give you these 2 little weights and then say, okay, now do this. And then a week or 2 weeks from, then they increase it to 5, do the same thing, but with 5-pound weights. Then do the same thing with 10 pounds. Then 12, 15, 20, 20. You're in this exact same action you do this, okay? But the weight is increased. So you're rising up. That is how you know. So in spiritual evolution, how do you know you're rising up? More and more and more mind is at peace. That is not more and more results I got, but more and more my mind is at peace. And then you will come. When you have done it for births and births, actually, it's not like 1 week. Gym is 1 week, 2 weeks. You can see that in 1 year, you can see you went from 3 to 25 pounds. It doesn't happen that quick. But when you do practice this throughout life and throughout many, many births, you reach a stage of karma sannyas, where the doership is not surrendered, it is annihilated. Where the ego is not surrendered, it is destroyed. That is karma sannyas. That is naishkarmyam. And that naishkarmyam therefore means moksha or mukti. This is the load of that word naishkarmya. So if that goal is so lofty of moksha, can actionlessness mean giving up a physical action? No. Nacha, then sannyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Siddhim, achievement. Please do not be under the incorrect, delusory thinking that just by giving up action you will get moksha. You can't. Because why? He explains in the next verse. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate hyavasha karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Verily, none can ever remain for even a moment without performing action. For everyone is made to act helplessly, indeed, by the qualities born of Prakriti. So this is also another important verse. Now we saw Karmi, Karma Yogi, and Karma Sannyasi. I told you, all three, there is karma, there is action. Why? Why can't I give up action? If I say that I will sit on the balcony whole day and I will not do anything, okay, then is that I've given up all actions? Am I not seeing the mountains from my balcony? Seeing is an action. Am I not breathing? Breathing is an action. Am I not going, just because I sit there, will I not feel hungry? I will feel hungry. Then what will I do? I will go eat. Is eating an action? Is digesting an action? Is circulation an action? They all fall under action. And that's why he says, Kashchit kshanamapi. Kshana, even for a second, we cannot live without action. It is not, so that is not an option at all. Giving up physical action is not an action at all. Action has to be given up in the mind. And in the mind is the doership. When you're hungry, you eat, you do everything. You do all those things. So it is not, this is the point that Bhagavan is trying to impress, because Arjun was trying to physically give up the action. Please remember that. Don't forget that point, that he really wanted to just leave the war and go. And that's what Bhagavan is now impressing on his mind. You can't. Because even if Arjun would have gone, and what did Arjun say? Did he say, I will give up acting? No, he said, I will go beg. So you are acting again. Begging is an action. So what is it? So now what you have done, your Kshatriya dharma of fighting, you're giving up. Therefore, Bhagavan said, Swadharma bhayava, paradharma bhayava. He said, your Swadharma of fighting, you're giving up. And now you're going to take up the dharma of a Brahmin and go beg. So action to you never gave up. So what is the point? What is the point of you running away? And without karma, we cannot stay. Why? Karyate yavasha means vasha is to be under the influence of. And this karya for everyone is made to act helplessly. See, we are under the spell of Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Maya. What is Maya? The three gunas. Prakritihi, jaihi, gunaihi. Ja is born. Ja dhatu means to be born. Okay, so gunaihi, this is referring to the sattva, rajas, and tamas gunas. The gunas born out of Prakriti, they are the ones, that means what? Vasanas, they are the ones that are pushing us from inside, and they will continue to push. The real actionlessness is in controlling that push. That push of the gunas is in controlling. What is control? Exercising choice is control. So what do I mean by exercising control? These three gunas are like three servants that we have. What is right now our condition is they are the masters and we are the servants. So when I feel tamasic, then even if I have to do some work, I don't feel like procrastinate. I'll do it tomorrow. Let me do it afterwards. Let me do it this thing. Though I'm supposed to be doing that, but I push. In my case, it's like I have to take garbage down. Oh, maybe later on I'll take it. that is. But if you know there is too much garbage, I should take it downstairs. For me, it's the condo, and I do it right away. Then I have mastered tamas. Otherwise, tamas is mastering me. So these three gunas, these are pushing from within. Make them your servants. And what is a servant meant to do? You tell the servant, this is what I want done. You call that servant, you get it done. So you want to study. Then you say, okay, Sattva, come on, let's go. I need to sit and read. I have got a lecture tomorrow. I have to give my discussion verse, or I have to study for a project. I have got work or whatever, and I need to study. So Sattva, I need you. Come on, let's go. Then there is work to be done at home. Cooking is there, cleaning is whatever, laundry, whatever. Okay, Rajas, I need you now. Come on, let's go. And best is, when you're admitted to hospital, say for surgery or something. Who should I phone? I'm getting so bored. Can you pay for the TV? No, then you invite tamas. That's why I told you, all three are equally important. Depending on what is to be done, everybody has its own importance. So literally, I had surgery, long time back. I actually invoked, I said, okay, tamas now. And I actually slept for like 24 hours after my surgery. I just slept. And she said, oh, you never asked for any medicine. I said, no, I was sleeping. So I never felt any pain. So I don't want any medication. That is the time you invite tamas. So don't underestimate the power of tamas. Tamas is also at night, at night when suppose in the morning you have to get up early and now you can't say, oh, then should I watch TV? And no, you this thing. So these three gunas. So the actionlessness has to, there is a story that I'll tell you. So there was a guru and a disciple walking along the road. They were going to the ashram and they were walking along a river, the banks of a river. What this dropping in the mind means, that's what I'm telling you. So they were walking along the river and suddenly they saw one young girl screaming for help. She was drowning in the river and she was saying, help me, I can't swim. So the disciple, of course, being younger than the guru, he immediately, responded. He jumped into the river. He saved her. He brought her out. He left her there. So the job was done. They both went to the ashram. After going to the ashram, the guru said to the disciple, maybe we should not have left her there on the banks. You see? And the disciple said, Master, I brought her out. I dropped her and I dropped her from my mind also. But you're carrying her in your mind till now. You're now worrying. Because once he brought her, she could breathe, she can walk. She was a young girl. There will be other people who will help her. So why we should worry about her? But the guru is thinking about that girl. Says, I dropped her. That's it. I did my action. That is how actions have to be. You do, you drop. You do, you drop. Neki kar or kuein mein dal. We do good and then we see how good I did. I was so nice to her. All these things. That means you're carrying that action in your mind. So the literal translation is you do good and throw it into the well. Physically, though, you can't throw the action into the well, means mentally you forget about it. You did it. Forget about it. And that forgetfulness will come when you're doing it out of ego, when you're doing it as a response and not as a reaction. Not as a reaction. So if I am forced to do action, then how should I do it? Is I should not have any attachment. There is attachment to the action first. While doing the action, there's attachment to the action. And then there is attachment to the result. So there is karma sakti and phala sakti. So this asakti, what does it mean? Means if I like something, I will do it. But if I don't like that work, then I'm not going to do it. That should not be there. And the criteria for that is this my duty? The criteria should not be like or dislike. It should be, is it my duty or is it not my duty? Most of the times we indulge in what is not our business, our duty, because we like to poke our nose in other people's affairs, which is not our duty. But we like to do. I want to know what is going on in there. What is going on in there? No, it's not our duty. Is it my duty? No. No. Am I being asked to help? No, I'm not being asked. If I'm being asked to help, I can poke my nose. But if I'm not being asked, then no. So this thing should not be, and that's the first principle of karma yoga, is the sense of duty. Kartavya buddhi, every action to be done with kartavya buddhi, even eating. Even eating, it is my duty to maintain my body. Not that my body should look beautiful and like that. Exercise, it is my duty to keep it healthy. It is my duty to eat right. Then you will never eat wrong things also. If you superimpose the idea of duty on food, you superimpose idea on duty on children. This is my duty to look after these children. It is my duty to teach. It is my duty to serve my guru. That should be my attitude. Why am I taking classes? Because this is my way of repaying my guru. There's no other way. The guru doesn't want money. And physically, though I cannot serve him, he's in India. So how do I serve my guru? Is by passing on what he has told me. And that should be my attitude. So that's why it's Vedanta, I've always told you. It's always inside. So when I do this, there is the attachment to doership, karma phala, and then kartrutva, the doership. All these three attachments should be given up. And that is how I should be functioning in this world. And can I give up action? No. Why? Because the gunas are pushing me to do those. Okay. We'll stop here today. We'll go to and then the next verse, Bhagavan will talk about more types of people. Any questions? Neil, you go first.
Okay, Hari Om Jaya. Just the topic on Kriya and like action. So watching sports, or like right now, football is big right now. Is it wrong to be couch potato and watch on Sunday?
Okay, so I will talk about the 5 types of karma in probably next Sunday. That is karma. It is not kriya.
Oh, it is.
Number 1. Yeah. You're doing it in your waking state. You want to enjoy the game. It is karma, but it falls under kamya karma. There's again more divisions in karma. It falls under kamya karma. There are 5 types of karmas. Okay. And the first one is this niyatam. What we are talking right now is about niyatam karma, which is the duty. What is your duty? Watching sports, watching a movie, listening to music, it is not your duty. But Shruti realizes, karma kandins realize that there are desires. So that falls under kamya karma. Desirous, the one that you desire to enjoy. Kama is desire. And that's fine. But if you give up your duty to watch football, if you give something you're supposed to do and you're not doing that at that time and watching football, then that is not correct. So if you want to watch football, then do whatever is supposed to be done for that day, do it. Or then decide this 1 hour I'm going to watch, and then after that I'll get all my work done. That should be done. Kamya karma, even I go for movies, right? But I know this is the day that I want to go. This is the show that I want to go. So all my my first priority is preparing for the lectures. I prepare for my lecture and I'm like, okay, now I can go do anything. So that falls under kamya karma. I will talk about the 5 karmas. It will come further. This whole chapter is on karma only. We'll be dissecting karma like nobody's business.
Thank you.
Yes, Shivram.
Jayaji, karma begins from the mind, right, Jayaji? The physical is just a response to that. So
karma begins in the vasana level.
Vasana level, okay.
There is a vasana because of which a desire comes, and then that desire prompts you to act.
Okay, so we are talking about control at the mind level though, because vasana is not
controllable, correct.
Okay, so response, again it is a response, right, Jayaji?
Control in the form of choice. That's why I told you.
Okay.
What is control? Control is not suppression. We'll be talking about that also. If you suppress, control should not be understood as a suppression. Control should be understood as a sublimation. Sublimation, what is sublimation? Sublimation is, to give you an example, there's a baby there's a newly born baby in the house, and that baby cries in the middle of the night. That time I have to suppress my desire to sleep, right? That suppression which leads to self-respect is sublimation, because then now I have not suppressed, I have surrendered my desire to that baby. Okay, so control, when we say, should not be understood as suppress. That's what we understand it as, control. But that's why if you say choice, that's why I said, you know, you want to watch sports tomorrow. Then, okay, there is a project that is coming up on Monday, you know, or the next day. Okay, let me finish my, like I said, I will be prepared for my lectures and then I go for the movie. Or even watching TV. I do a certain amount of reading. Otherwise, I don't feel right watching TV either. So that is choice. That's why the gunas, use your choice and use that guna. If you want to sleep, then definitely use tamas.
So, Jayashree,
Don't let them push you, you push them.
So, Jayashree, again, coming to all of this, Jayashree, it comes to how at that point in time you have placed your mind, because your mind is not in the same state always. A little bit of turmoil and you're trying to do this, but then you completely lose track of, and then that leads to regret, and again you get caught in that cycle.
Yeah.
So
that's why the studies are
pulling
required.
back, and is that what you're saying, when we are at a very low level and we keep pulling ourselves back into this, keep trying till this becomes your primary ability?
It becomes effortless.
Effort.
You put in effort until it becomes effortless.
Thank you, Judge.
That is self-effort. Purushartha at the level of karma is that.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we will stop. We'll continue next time.